Well, looky here, guys. It is Monday. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think they've ever uploaded a character on a Monday for MultiVersus. Somebody fact check me on that. It's usually been Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But today is Monday. They announced yesterday that Marvin is dropping today at the usual time of around 1 p.m. after server maintenance. Right now it's about 12:30, and MultiVersus' channel is about to go live to talk about the character, to show a little bit of a breakdown for us to get an idea of what Marvin's going to play like. Now, I read online that he is actually not going to be a mage, which is interesting. He's going to be an assassin. One of the more iconic things about Marvin is the fact that he uses a blaster. So I figured he'd be like a ranged mage character, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So we're going to see exactly how he plays and what he's going to be playing like, and if he's going to be a lot of fun. If you've been enjoying the MultiVersus content, or the fact that we're trying to get back into covering MultiVersus, please be sure to hit that like button. Let's get this video to over 500 likes, and hit that subscribe button as well so you can stay up to date. We're going to be going live later today, playing some Marvin the Martian, seeing how he is, and hopefully uploading those videos as well. Now, in about a minute and a half, we're going to get into this and see what Ajax, the Cat, and the rest of the Player First Games team has to offer in regards to the knowledge of this character.
All right, Ian, it's good to have you here. This is the first time I actually feel like we've been able to chat one-on-one, but yeah, I think this is definitely the most proper time with Marvin being on the horizon for the game. So can you give me a little bit of breakdown of like what he means to you, and how was it actually designing him?
Devices and gadgets and like blasters and stuff in the show and all the source material. And as we're kind of going through there and working on different kind of mechanics for him, we ended up leaning toward more of like a vertical mage. So a lot of like up and down power. A lot of our projectile fighters are very like horizontal focused. I would say like his big mechanics are, he has this bubble that's kind of this slow projectile he can kind of fire out in front of him,
looking like a reptile,
run behind, and it's good for kind of like getting in on people and giving yourself a bit of cover. So going for the bubble, his neutral special is he has this projectile reverse, which is like every allied projectile in the game, when he presses that button, will do like a quick pause, and then it will reverse its direction. Yeah, I think the run animation is definitely that's the chef's kiss of all of his kind of animation suite. I love the little just like kind of fluttering feet. Yep. There's also some fun stuff that happens when you do a crouch with that as well, that I think is a pretty good reference. But yeah, it's like kind of his general stuff. I love the sort of like,
I wonder what low profile is more, that or Velma's
stretchiness of it, and the like kind of like he's almost like Gumby in that sense. So a lot of his attacks, he has these like long limbs that kind of rubber band outward. And do some really crazy stuff. I'm trying to think, what are my favorites?
When it comes to like the Looney, because I think it makes for the most pleasant teabag possible.
Yeah. There's been a lot of discourse of like, yep, this is a good teabag. I think it's kind of more that mid-level, higher level range of play, but kind of at a more beginner level. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do. Or his kind of UFO with his up special. So that's going to be, he calls in his UFO. It's kind of a platform for a few seconds. That's a really good recovery
can make
tool,
platforms,
especially if you find yourself like off the edge of the arena.
That stuff is always good.
I almost said Robin. Marvin's in, and that's just the one of the stronger projectiles in the game.
Him and Bugs might be annoying to play against.
When in doubt, call up the rocket. There's going to be a big laser pointer, and you can just kind of paste that, like space that out. And that's a pretty good
what the hell
earlier kill option if you're not necessarily as comfortable with like the combos and whatnot.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Give you opportunities to get up close. So the bubble is good, but if you fire it at somebody from far away,
that actually looks kind of fun.
Options in how they want to get around it. And like the rocket is pretty heavily telegraphed. The lock-on debuff to any enemies he hits or enemies in that area. And so that's a pretty easy area to avoid if you're playing more defensively. Like he'll put the flag up, there'll be a big circle around it, and if you're scared of it, you just stay away. So yeah, as a Marvin player, I think you're going to want to get up close to people before you plant that flag and kind of like get in their home turf and establish it as your own. So when you're juggling them and they're trying to rebound,
he's playing King of the Hill in his
set up there to kind of get
in his neutral.
His side special on the ground. He has
or domination,
a slower projectile that will, if it hits somebody, it will pull them to like right above his head. So that's also
has a low cooldown.
Kind of like.
That's pretty good.
Like a very different version of like Wonder Woman's lasso.
For sure.
The UFO, get a rocket ready to go, and then get aggressive because you want to get that positioning
for sure
just right for when that rocket shows up. You want to get that lock-on debuff,
that was sick.
Spawned on enemy. And kind of talking about different like meta cycles and stuff. There was a lot of mage meta and like heavy projectile use, and we were like, we know we don't want to make him as
to really reflect your team.
We don't want him
stuff
to
like
fit
that?
into that projectile meta, and that can tie in with like allied
the
projectiles.
Bubble's really interesting to me.
Layering in traps.
Sometimes
with
it pops in place, but then sometimes it travels. I wonder if there's a perk difference.
Like a stronger bubble, and then you're using the reverse to kind of position that right. You're using the lock-on to kind of pull it towards people. So I think just kind of a lot of the back and forth with getting all those parts, get that projectile co-op option still interesting, but make sure it's not too powerful. And just there was a lot of stuff that not quite working. So
does that go full screen?
About
all
right, we get to see a little bit more now.
For the most important question of the entire day, what's the name of Ian's cat? Also, what are the signature perks on Marvin? So to start things off, you have the K62 Modulator Mark V, which is the perk that you saw with Shaggy's buff a little while ago that was sending it back and forth. It was making it go quicker. It's something you're going to be using with your teammates pretty often. Then this one is where you saw the flag being posted down. If this is your choice, though, there will be no rockets that get sent if they don't have the target debuff. So consider that when you're putting this on for your team. It's very good in 2v2s. Obviously in ones, it's not necessary. But in this one here, Space Invader, your up attack in the air will allow you to change directions of how you aim it. Very similar to Harley's down air, which you'll see in a moment.
Might be the one.
Also, a reason why I decided to pick these specific ones here. This is very interchangeable. Of course, you can pick whatever you like. But I like That's Not All, folks, specifically for the side air, which we'll get into right now. And there he is. This is Marvin the Martian, everybody's favorite Martian. And all you need to worry about is that you could do this. This is phenomenal. But Marvin is here to cause chaos, wreak havoc, and try to take over the world. And the way he's going to do that is with his moveset. So, starting things off, you got your jab, which is a 3-piece. The third part is not a true combo hit, very similar to that of Rick, where he shoots a rocket at the end. But this is a KO option at later percent, so you want to consider that when you're trying to go for dodge reads.
Okay.
And then this here is your neutral attack, the bubble shot. When you have that, it'll send them upwards, but also it'll grab projectiles, which I'll gonna be showing you a very important setup with that after you knock someone out later. It's extremely good. When it's uncharged, you just get this. So when you're up close, you can use this. Not really too much that you link into that, but it does set up for your teammate to combo off of.
Can you hit it into the second hit though?
Down attack is the A1 disintegrating pistol, which lingers and does hurt yourself.
Oh,
but the entire time you're doing that, it is a lingering hitbox. It will go away the moment you hit someone, though. It's a solid move at higher percentages or higher damage in general. It does take a bit. You can combo into it off a ground bounce, but it is a knockout option.
Cool.
It takes so much longer to take off the damage. But that's a move you'll be using pretty often on dodge reads, especially if people are panicking inwards. And it's also just good
it lingers pretty long too.
Together, so it's going to catch everybody when they're not paying attention.
But you're risking damage.
Attack, which can be aimed. That's what you saw earlier in the video. It's a good anti-air tool. It's also something you can combo into. You can use that later on, of course. You can use this same setup at higher percentages to lead to a combo. But there's also a KO confirm that you can do with another move I'll be getting into. And it's probably my favorite move on Marvin's kit. This right here. It pulls you in, you're locked into that. So you have to just, that's it, you're stuck. So once you get hit by that, it doesn't have the best range overall from max distance, but right around here is a perfect distance for it. The cooldown's not super long, so you'll be trying to actively use this as much as possible. Because you can do things like that, but you can also use it.
That's gotta be so annoying to get hit by. Doesn't it just keep pulling you?
very similar to the grounded version. This one lingers. That is an active spike hitbox the entire time. So when you're off stage, that is all a spike.
What?
So you go down there, you chase after someone with that, and they're going to fall. A higher percentage. It's really good. But you could also use
it really is.
That's a flag. That's not the button I pressed. So already 1- score for Ajax's button presses. But you can use that in the air, but if you catch it on the spike hitbox, it'll send him downward. Which you can
The
use
spike
as ground
hitbox is
bounce,
above his head.
Bounces does combo.
In typical MultiVersus fashion.
Combo extenders you might not have thought about when you're looking at the previous walkthrough. The modulator itself leads to a ground bounce, so you're going to use this. All right, -2. -3. There we go. So you use that as a ground bounce extender. It's also the same exact button in the air. Now, that one's a little bit hard to combo off of in the air, but if you're with a teammate, you could keep going. I'm not at -4, thank you very much. But you'll be using that in the air. It's a very fast option. And it's something that you could use off of this, too, as well. So very similar to Arya's knife, if you go with this aerial side special headbutt, which is a decent mobility option, but when you hit someone, it pops them up. And you do that to send them back downward, it will usually link into it. Obviously, that one was on attack decay, so it won't. But you're going to be looking to try and set that up so people could combo off of it later. Where did I leave off? Oh, yeah. The side air, which is this move. You cannot charge this, so it's a little bit different than what you expect with your normal side airs. But it goes very far. And that's why I like the idea of that's not all, folks, because you can chase someone all the way off stage with that, and it'll bounce you back in towards the stage. Because he doesn't necessarily have the best aerial mobility, but he does have some decent recovery options with things like this. Very similar to Morty's UFO differences. This one has a rocket, so it's significantly cooler. Also, it leads to that earth-shattering kaboom, and it will follow you wherever you go, or you can turn it around. And it lasts for a long time, too. It's a very strong option. You'll be seeing me do something with that later. But you want to consider that when you're going off stage. Remember, those are 2 of your specials right there. So whenever you're extending, going off with something like this, you want to have something to back it up. And speaking of mobility options, I'm going to go back to this. This is back on the ground. The flag creates a little debuff range. You got your lock-on target. Everything within lock-on target will follow. Except for that second one. There we go.
Okay, stripe.
And then the same thing with the signature perk that I showed you before. This is how that works. If they are not targeted, they will not be fired at. So take that into consideration depending on how good you are at using that. But also, it's a dive move you can use too when unarmed. It's also still got a hitbox. But a really good tool for it is it's actually really good for canceling movement. So you want to consider that when you're moving around in the air, whether it has the flag or not.
That's the first time I've ever seen somebody run out of dodge.
Think about that when you're moving around in the air. It's very solid. And it
took him a long time, bro. That's a big problem in MultiVersus. Dodge mechanic is too fucking good.
If I remember when I was testing.
And it's pretty much the foundation of the game.
Higher damage windows, or your opponent is, excuse me, they have to now
offensive, defensive,
consideration when you're doing it. And
canceling
panic dodge afterwards, you can
unsafe moves to make him safe. It's like,
so that's
even on whiff, that's stupid.
The kit in terms of how he moves. I know I'm missing at least something here. Oh no, I'm not. Okay, so as y'all see all my tabs, but one of the things that you want to consider when you're pushing with him is that you're going to be aiming to get knockouts towards the skies. Anything that could lead towards a knockout off the top is pretty much what you're going for. So you have things like, which will set up for a knockout in the skies. Usually it gets rid of it around 140-ish, give or take. But you also have...
Oh my god.
This. So you can start off the next round with that just sitting out there.
But moving away?
That's
How do they work?
Force people to give you respect on the start. You got a decent amount of time. Someone tries to rush at you. By the time
Got to kill confirm off his jab.
They have to deal with that. Oh wait, it's still there. He has an insane amount of capabilities you could use, of course.
Yeah, he's gonna have some cool clips.
Costume, which is the X2 Commander. Wanted to show that off as well. And also, it's that time where I show off what I've been trying to cook up in the lab prior to this. There's a couple things that I was looking at when it came to Marvin. Specifically, though, was utilizing that switch. It's going to be your main combo extender. It's what's going to help you get going. Whether it be off an initial ground bounce, you can use side air at low percentages to get combo extenders as well.
That's probably what I'm going to be focusing on, side air entry. Oh, Iron Giant.
You only do about 3 of them in one, by the way. That's not going to stay that way. But you can also use that same option to basically trap them inside of being guaranteed into a rocket, stuff like that. So you have to be very careful about how you decide to approach Marvin. He's a very dangerous foe. He's gonna be controlling the stage a lot. Obviously, very good in 2s because of this move right here. But someone that you want to take into consideration if you are a very setup-based character, like I said, with things like this. You have 2 of those out. You have so much coverage with this character. A lot of different options that you can be able to use. Somebody asked for the taunt, by the way. There it is. The flag. And that's pretty much it for Marvin overall. As we are approaching that time where all of the rest of you can actually play Marvin as well. And
he's available right now.
Honestly, he's a lot of fun.
Marvin looks pretty cool. I like the I always like slower hitting traveling projectiles. I think that the whole aspect of that reminds me of like Reptile from Mortal Kombat, really. But it seems like he has a lot of utility and a lot of versatility as well. Off stage might not be his like best part of his game. It seems like he might have a little bit of trouble like recovering back on stage. However, that down spike, that lingering hitbox looks friggin' insane. Comment below what you guys think about the character. Are you guys playing him today, or are you ignoring him completely? He doesn't seem like he's going to be a bad character, but they did say he's going to be the mid to higher level character, as you know they typically did with like Rick and Morty, characters that are like fun to use but have a very high ceiling to master. And once you do master all of that, it can go a very long way as far as kit and utility goes. Be sure to like the video if you enjoy it and subscribe if you are new. More MultiVersus videos are coming your way and you won't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ and thanks for watching.